Hey everybody. Remember when everybody was talking about the Psalm 83 war? It was a big topic amongst the Watchmen community and anyone who studies Bible prophecy because right after October 7th, um, people started even saying that October 7th was a Psalm 83 war because there's a verse in Psalm 83 that says against your hidden ones. So they thought that was referring to the hostages, which is just absolutely ridiculous in my mind. Um, but that's kind of like cooled off and people are not talking about it. But I see it forming, and there's definitely credible information out there that shows that it could very well happen, and it could happen on the Feast of Trumpets, Yom Teruah, Rosh Hashanah, um, the entire last week of September of this year. Because when Israel went and their air force went all the way into Qatar, which is a long ways distance, and they dropped their munitions in Doha, which is the capital of Qatar, um, and they dropped their munitions precisely on this building in which the Hamas leadership was in. Now, the Prime Minister Netanyahu, he says that it was an unsuccessful mission, but they killed 5 Hamas people, but not the leadership of Hamas, which doesn't make sense to me. But that's what the news media outlets are reporting, and that's what Israel has also confirmed. But Qatar is angry. The Prime Minister of Qatar is angry, and he came out and said that he's going to have a Arab-Islamic summit. What is that? A coalition. He even mentioned in an article somewhere I read somewhere else about a coalition. And that's exactly what Psalm 83 says. A coalition will come against Israel. And so they already met on Sunday, this past Sunday. Was it today? Yeah, today's Sunday. I think it was today. Yeah, it was today. They met today, and for some reason, the news media is not covering it. And I don't hear too much people talking about it in the Watchmen community, but what's really interesting is that, you know, the United Nations, as we all know, is meeting in New York City for an entire week, and they're going to pass this two-state solution that they think is going to bring peace to the Middle East. So they're going to recognize the state of Palestine. And they already had an original draft vote, I guess you want to call it, and 142 countries were for recognizing the state of Palestine, and only 10 were against it, and the rest of them were not present. They were absent. So that shows me that they're going to recognize the state of Palestine, the two-state solution, and as it clearly says in the Bible, when they're saying peace and safety or peace and security, then sudden destruction will fall upon them. So could it be that all of this is happening during the week of the 2 days on the Feast of the Trumpets, Yom Teruah, Rosh Hashanah? I mean, everything is leading up to this last week in September. And I see what I see. Why are they saying peace and safety, then sudden destruction will come upon them? What I think may happen is that Qatar, again, they've already met with their Muslim Brotherhood, all the other surrounding Muslim nations, and they already have a plan to attack Israel. Because can you imagine if you were the president of a country and you had your enemies come into your country and bomb a building there, and now you're not striking back? And in the Middle Eastern area, if you are weak, if you show any weakness, then that's not good. You always have to be like one step above. You always have to be the tough guy, because if you show weakness, that just shows that I don't understand why Qatar has not moved in with their plan of attacking Israel. I don't understand that from a human point of view. But from a prophetic point of view, I do understand, because peace has to come to the Middle Eastern area to fulfill Bible prophecy. Bible prophecy has to unfold, and it will unfold. What God says, God does. And I believe that after they recognize the state of Palestine, they're going to sign a covenant. I think it's going to be 7 years long, this peace treaty. And then I think that's when the Psalm 83 conflict is going to happen, spearheaded by Qatar. And they're going to go into Israel and they're going to fight. That's what I think. And then, the rest, who knows? We'll see. So anyways, I wanted to show you this this article that confirms what I just said. So this is dated September 14th, and today is September 14th. Qatari Prime Minister says Israel must be punished for strike. Vows to continue ceasefire efforts, though. So he really wants to, but he really can't, right? Because it's all political, guys. All political. And that's all one big gigantic show, But it says here, draft resolution ahead of Monday's Doha summit. So tomorrow they are going to have a summit, which falls on the 5th anniversary of the Abraham Accords. Reportedly says Israeli actions threaten both current agreements and future ones. And Qatari's prime minister accused Israel of state terrorism and said its attack in Doha last week, targeting Hamas's leadership, was an attack on the principle of mediation itself, but nevertheless vowed to continue efforts to reach a ceasefire. So it's almost like he's bluffing, right? He's saying, yeah, we're gonna have peace, but right after I sign that covenant, man, I'm gonna go in there with all these other countries that hate you, and we're gonna attack you. Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Tahini, who is also Qatar's foreign minister, made the remarks at a preparatory session on Sunday for the Emergency Arab-Islamic Summit in Doha, which was called for Monday in the wake of last week's bombing. Psalm 83, guys. So yes, everything is happening at a very rapid rate, right? Yeshua said things will happen with intensity, and the intensity and the frequency of events would be exponential. It would just be out of this world. And that's what we see. We can't even keep up with the events that are going on because they're happening at such a rapid fire rate. And I'm telling you, the last week of September, when the United Nations General Assembly is going to be in New York City, President Trump is actually going to be there. Let me tell you, that's going to be a very, very interesting week. And I just ask all of you, as believers in Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, to please pray for the salvation of the Jewish nation, and also pray for the peace of Jerusalem, like it tells us to do in Psalm 122. All right, look up, because our redemption draws nigh. Love you all.